man, you want a selfie? I'm feeling good. Why not? Give me that. All right, say cheese. All right, smile. Come on, big smile. Hey, W's. All right.
Dwayne, you got to come out here and finish the game.
Hey, I'm taking selfies, okay? Leave me alone. What's up, Kleschka Crew? Welcome to week 13 of Kleschka Picks. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Let's get started with the Thanksgiving games. The morning game will be the Bears and the Lions. The Lions, they lost to the Redskins last week on a game-winning field goal. The Redskins, I could not believe, got another win. But with Matthew Stafford injured for the Lions, they are hobbled for sure. And the Redskins took advantage of that. Dwayne Haskins was in there, and he is performing good there. But he was too busy at the end of the game to bother going to the field for the last snap. He was just taking selfies with fans because he was so excited. I don't really see a problem with that, especially with how the Redskins season is going. So why not get a little enjoyment in there? And, you know, when you're feeling good, why not feel good with the fans? So I don't really see a problem with that. And this Thanksgiving, they got the Lions. We're not even talking about the Redskins right now. We're talking about the Lions and the Bears. Lions, they lost. Bears, they won against the Giants. And their defense was solid. I think their defense will be solid once again here against the Lions on Thanksgiving. I think the Bears will beat them 23-13. The next game on the Thanksgiving schedule is the Bills and the Cowboys. The Bills, they beat the Broncos last week. Not a very tough opponent, but their defense sure was incredible. Only holding the Broncos to a field goal. And they got the Cowboys who played the Patriots and actually put up a good fight, but the Patriots ended up getting it in the end. The Cowboys could just not get their offense together to get past the Patriots. The Patriots defense is a monster. The entire unit is just looking amazing this year. So the Patriots are just tough to beat. Any team is really going to have a problem beating them unless you're the Ravens, who have looked very good, but we'll talk about them later. This week in this Thanksgiving game, I think the Bills defense is so solid, and the Cowboys have been struggling against the better defenses. They can't get over the hump. Their offense doesn't seem to be good enough to beat these good defenses, so I think the Bills and their defense will be the key factor in this win. I think they will beat the Cowboys 24-16. Saints and Falcons, the final Thanksgiving Day game. The Saints, they went on a game-winning field goal from Will Lutz against the Panthers, and the Falcons, they gave up too many points to the Buccaneers, and they ended up taking the L. Matt Ryan struggled big time offensively. Like I said, the Falcons, they have all these players. You think they would succeed every week with Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Devonta Freeman. Matt Ryan's a solid veteran quarterback, but they just cannot put it together this season. They can't keep it together. Sometimes they all work as a unit and they all look good, and then they just fall apart the next week. So the Saints have a MVP wide receiver candidate in Michael Thomas. He is doing amazing this year. Drew Brees is being the veteran leader that he needs to be. And then you got Alvin Kamara, who's a great young running back. With that talented offense and their defense performing pretty good, then the struggling Atlanta Falcons cannot find their way. I think it's an easy one here. I think the Saints will beat the Falcons 33-20, and I think they will be enjoying some turkey. Redskins and Panthers, both of these teams got their win/loss based on field goals. The Redskins, like I said, kicked their game-winning field goal. Dwayne Haskins was too busy to bother getting that final snap to end the game. And then we had the Panthers, who lost to the Saints on a game-winning field goal. The Panthers, they have had their issues at quarterback this year. Cam Newton has been injury-plagued all year, which has put Kyle Allen in his spot, and he's done pretty good. And then the Redskins, their whole season has pretty much been a struggle. They've had Case Keenum, who cannot get the team a certain fire, a certain spark, and the head coach got fired, and that has just been equaling a bad season, a season that Redskins fans want to forget for sure. With this whole season, I don't think Dwayne Haskins is going to be pulling out miracles. So I think the Panthers look solid enough, even without Cam Newton under center, that they will beat the Redskins 27-13. Jets and Bengals. The Bengals lost to the Steelers last week. The Steelers were doing so bad with Mason Rudolph, they took him out of the game and put in Delvin Hodges, which got them the win. And it would have been very embarrassing if they would have lost to the Bengals. And they got the Jets, who looked like monsters against the Raiders. Their defense was there. The offense was there. All around, they were looking great. The Raiders were straight up embarrassed by the Jets. And this is a good chance for Cincinnati to get their possibly one win on the season. They still don't have a single win. This is a game that I think it could happen, but I don't think it'll happen. I think the defense will be there for the Jets. I think the Bengals will struggle offensively again for the who knows how many times this season. They've switched quarterbacks, and then they're bringing back Andy Dalton. They put in Ryan Finley to replace Andy Dalton, and that didn't work, so they're like, all right, Andy, I guess you're going back in. But how is your confidence level when you were benched, and they're like, all right, well, the guy we put in when we benched you, he's not working out, so I guess we're putting you back in. Like, that cannot do great things to your confidence. I think the Jets, they got Le'Veon Bell, who's one of the best running backs in football. He's just on a team that needs improvements, and he needs help. So if he can get that help, then he'll obviously perform to the levels we've seen him before. And Sam Darnold is a great, talented, young gunslinger. So I think the Jets will beat the poor Bengals 20-10. Titans and Colts. The Colts tried to make a last comeback effort against the Texans last week, but they came up short only by 3 points. And then you had the Titans, where it was the Derrick Henry show. He was running all over the Jaguars, as he has done most of his career. That is a team that he strongly succeeds against almost every time. And with him running strong and Ryan Tannehill performing solid at quarterback, I think this is going to be a good thing for the Titans going to the rest of the season. I don't think it's going to secure them a playoff spot, but I think they can play confidently, and they can be pretty good teams. I think they'll give them competition. I think sometimes they might beat that competition, and I think this is one of those weeks where they will beat the competition, especially with Derrick Henry running strong towards the end of the season. I think the Titans will beat the Colts 24-21. Jaguars and Buccaneers. The Buccaneers got a high-scoring win over the Falcons last week, and we saw the Jaguars lose to the Titans. Like I said, Derrick Henry ran all over them. It seems like since they put Nick Foles back in quarterback, it has gone downhill. Minshew Mania, I think, is the move, and I think they should go back to that. Nick Foles is not really giving them the spark that Minshew Mania did. He literally got a little term in his few games that he played. Minshew Mania. Everybody loved the mustache. His party college dude attitude, and they were loving it there in Jacksonville, and they're like, as soon as Nick Foles is ready, we're putting him back in. And I think that kind of killed the spirits, especially with how things have gone since Nick Foles has taken over the quarterback position. So I think Tampa Bay is in a good spot here, especially since they've been kind of trending upward in recent weeks. I guess it's just a tough season for Tampa too. They're kind of a roller coaster team, and I think they're gonna keep going up. I think they're gonna keep riding up. Hopefully they don't drop. I think they will beat the Jaguars 30-17. Packers and Giants. Giants lost to the Bears last week, and the Packers not only lost to the 49ers, they were embarrassed by the 49ers. They did not look good at all. Aaron Rodgers was struggling big time, but the 49ers were not. And I think this is a rebound game here for the Packers. The Giants have one of the lower end secondaries, and Aaron Rodgers is a gunslinging, flame-throwing, deep ball launching quarterback. So I think this is going to be a great game for him to regain his confidence, get the offense sparked, get the running backs involved, get his receivers involved, get the whole offense involved. And it's going to be a tough one for the Giants to overcome. I don't think they will. I think the Packers are angry after what happened against them in the 49ers. So I think you'll see Aaron Rodgers determined and very, very, very angry. So I would watch out for him. I think he's going to have a great game next week. So I think the Packers will beat the Giants 38-20. Eagles and Dolphins. The Eagles, it was turnover central against the Seahawks. They lost that game. And the Dolphins, they were straight up embarrassed by the Browns. The Browns were all over them. They were just owning them with about every offensive weapon they have. And they're just kind of a team that people beat up on this year. They see the schedule and they see Dolphins and they're like, ha! That's a win. Who wants a touchdown? Who wants one? You want one? Okay, you got it. You want one? All right, buddy. I'll make sure it happens. So that's basically how I see the Dolphins this season. So I don't want to know what NFL teams see the Dolphins as this season. The Eagles, this is another game, another rebound game for a team that was quite embarrassed the week before. The Eagles have been on a roller coaster season. They've had their highest of highs and their lowest of lows, and this is a great time for them to add to those highs. So I think the Eagles are going to get an easy walk in the park against the Dolphins, and I think they will beat them 23-16. 49ers and Ravens. This is probably going to be the best game of this week. I would be shocked if it wasn't. The 49ers, they are looking great defensively. The offense holds up. George Kittle is playing on a freaking broken ankle, and he's still providing stats like a monster. Dude had over 100 yards last week and a touchdown, and he's doing it looking great too. And he has a broken bone in his ankle. Like, that's insane. And Jimmy Garoppolo, with weapons like him and Deebo Samuel, he is just going to succeed. And if the defense backs him up, it helps him even more. The whole team works as a unit, and they look great. But they are facing a challenging opponent in the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, probably the lead MVP candidate right now. This dude is insane. This dude is a generational talent. I have not seen somebody perform like him in a long time. And he's rare. This man is rare. This is a bad, bad man, and he's on a mission. He said, yeah, MVP's cool and all. He doesn't care about that. He cares about the Super Bowl, because that is a team win. That is a team championship that they can hold up in honor. This dude is just focused. He is determined. He is talented. He is young, athletic. He's got the moves, and he's got the swagger. Yeah, woo woo, Lamar Jackson. To quote Mark Ingram, who's been doing great for me in fantasy, so thank you, Mark Ingram. This is going to be such an entertaining game. I cannot wait. I'm surprised it's not the night game or the Monday game or one of the Thanksgiving games. I think it's on that status of how great this game is going to be. And I think it's going to be back and forth. I think it could be a shootout. So make sure you tune into this one. And if you can't watch it, then make sure you find some highlights, because I'm sure it's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy. But I think Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will beat the 49ers 30-23. Browns and Steelers. Last time we saw these teams play each other, it did not end pretty. Myles Garrett, yeah, we all know what he did. He ripped off Mason Rudolph's helmet, and he used that thing as a weapon, which is totally not okay. He could have seriously injured Mason Rudolph. He full on went bam. He's lucky Mason Rudolph was fine, but Mason Rudolph was not fine last week. He did not do well, and he was taken out of the game and replaced with Delvin Hodges, who's also going to be starting for the Steelers this week. It has been a tough season for the Steelers. They are plagued by injuries to Juju Smith, James Conner. Ben Roethlisberger was injured very early in the season. We will not see him for the rest of the season. That's when Mason Rudolph took over. He was injured for a couple games, and then he comes back. The whole thing with Myles Garrett, and then he does bad the following week, so they take him out and put in Delvin Hodges, and they literally just played the Browns, and they're here playing them again. The Browns seem unaffected by the whole situation. They dominated the Dolphins last week, and I think this is going to be another win for them against the Steelers. Hopefully not with the same end result with all the fighting, but I think we will see the same end result in the Browns getting the victory over them. The Steelers are so injury plagued, and the Browns have all their weapons, and they've been getting more wins lately. They've been more confident and realizing that they have this great talent all over the offense. So I think the Browns will beat the Steelers 27-13. Rams and Cardinals. Rams were absolutely embarrassed by the Ravens. I don't know if you can call it embarrassed, because Lamar Jackson is such a great quarterback, and the Ravens are such a great team that it's just like, we just lost to a really good team. I don't know if we were embarrassed, but that team out there is just pretty damn good. So anybody that they run into, it's just like, can we be embarrassed? We're a good team. That's just a better team. And then you got the Cardinals, who were on a bye week last week. Kyler Murray, he's a very young, talented quarterback who I don't think has found his way yet. I think he will find his way in the NFL, but they've had a running back kind of revolving door. David Johnson has been injured, and they're like, oh, he's going, and they're like, nah, we lied, he's not going. And then they signed Kenyon Drake, and they had Chase Edmonds, who had a great game, and then he got hurt. So that's just a revolving door of halfbacks. And Kyler Murray's been doing his best. He's got a young group of receivers besides Larry Fitzgerald, and that veteran leadership should be helping. But I think the Rams are going to get a comeback win, a statement win. I think that embarrassment to the Ravens is really going to drive them, and they're also still trying to fight for a playoff spot. They got the talent. Todd Gurley is an amazing running back, but he has his knee problems, and Jared Goff is not the most elite quarterback, but he's not absolutely trash, and they paid him all that money, so they got to find a way to make him work. I think this is going to be a win for the Rams, 24-19 over the Cardinals. Raiders and Chiefs. Chiefs were on a bye week last week, and the Raiders were embarrassed by the Jets. The Raiders, they're still trying to fight for playoffs too. They're trying to get every win they can possibly get, which I don't think will happen this week because they're playing the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. Well, Lamar Jackson is probably giving him a run for his money now. Those two, oh my goodness. That is a crazy quarterback duo right there. And he's got tons of weapons. He's got Tyreek Hill, who's probably the fastest receiver in the NFL right now. He's got young receivers that have been great as well. Sammy Watkins, who's a great veteran wide receiver who's been around. So that wide receiving corps is very good. And he's got young running backs who are getting the job done. And if you have Patrick Mahomes under center, then you really don't have to worry. This dude can literally do it with his opposite hand. He can throw sidearm. He doesn't even have to look at you. And the Raiders, I don't see them stopping him. I think Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs will beat the Raiders 30-20. Chargers and Broncos. Chargers were on a bye week last week. Broncos lost to the Bills. The Chargers, they got enough weapons to beat the Broncos, in my opinion. Keenan Allen, Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler. Phillip Rivers, though, has had turnover problems this season. Like, bad. Very bad. And the Broncos could take advantage of that. They got a defensive monster in Von Miller, and they got other solid defensive options on that squad. But I think Phillip Rivers is just going to beat up on this weaker Denver team, in my opinion. So I think the Chargers will get the win over the Broncos 27-17. Patriots and Texans. Texans barely got the win last week over the Colts, and the Patriots barely got the win last week over the Cowboys. The Patriots have struggled offensively. Even though their record might not show it, the defense has been a huge part on why they have that record. The offense definitely could be a lot better. They have a lot of injured wide receivers. They traded away Josh Gordon. So it's tough for the offense, but they're lucky the defense is as good as it is this year. And then we have the Texans, who are also up and down. Deshaun Watson, we all know, has the talent to be a great young quarterback, but he's been struggling in the last couple games. And with how great the New England defense is, I don't see him beating that defense. Even if the offense is struggling for the Patriots, I think the Patriots will beat the Texans 23-13. And finally, Seahawks and Vikings. My Seahawks beat the Eagles last week. We were defensive monsters with interceptions, fumbles, and Russell Wilson just did his job and did what he had to do for the offense, and that was enough. And then we had the Vikings on a bye week last week. Kirk Cousins, he's been looking good. The Vikings are going to be a tough team. Adam Thielen, I need to look up if he's back. I'm sorry for that. I'm not positive if he is, but I know Stephon Diggs is around. Dalvin Cook has been great this season, and that is just a great offense right there, and they got great players on their defense. But Russell Wilson, if it weren't for Lamar Jackson, would be the top MVP candidate right now. He's performing like an MVP quarterback. It's just you got Lamar Jackson performing like somebody from another planet. And Russell Wilson, this dude's been in the league for a long time. He's smart, he doesn't get hurt, and he knows where to make the right plays. So I think the Seahawks will beat the Vikings 27-23. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching this week of Kleschka Picks. If you made it to the end of this video, let me know who you think is going to win MVP. Who has a better shot at it? Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson, bad man. Russell Wilson, elite veteran quarterback. So, like the video, subscribe, tell your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your pets, your friends, everybody you know, and I will see you next time I got this.